Shalom. All right, we the real Hebrew Israelites. We come in and week out to prophesy the downfall of America, also known as Babylon, and prophesy the upcoming kingdom to come, Yasharala, also known as Israel, man. But before we start, we're gonna give all infinite honors, praises, and glory too.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakapadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing the truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim. And we're going to go into the topic tonight of basically the spirit is contrary to the flesh. The spirit is going against the flesh, even though they occupy basically the same space. All right? The spirit is inside of your flesh, okay? But they're not friends. And we're going to go straight into the scriptures and we're going to bring it out and we're going to hope that this is edifying, man. And we're also going to make connections to show that Esau understands this war that goes on between the Israelite man himself that he has to ultimately conquer before he can get to where we're trying to go.
All right, this is Galatians chapter 5 and verse 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh.
These things are contrary, all right? I remember when, not long ago, I heard a story about a Native American. He told a story about, well, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. But basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you feed the flesh more than you feed the spirit, the flesh is going to conquer the spirit. If you feed the spirit more than you feed the flesh, the spirit is going to conquer the flesh. The one that you give the most attention, the one that you give the most energy to, and the one that you pledge your allegiance to the most, that's who's going to win the war, man. Because it's a war, all right? After Adam fell, the flesh became our enemy because it represents death. But we still have that spirit in us that Yahweh gave us that can lead to life, man. Read it out.
Galatians 5 and 17. It says, for the flesh lusteth against the spirit.
It lusteth against the spirit, and that just basically means that they have two different trains of thought, and the spirit's end goal is different than the flesh's end goal. The flesh is concerned about temporary things, and the spirit is concerned about eternal things. The flesh is concerned about what I'm gonna eat, what I'm gonna drink, what drugs I'm gonna put in my body. How can I come up in this world so my physical temporary life can be easier? And the spirit is worried about high things, spiritual things, spiritual puzzles, so to speak, that you want to solve, breakdowns, prophecies, okay? The coming of prophecies, things that lead to life, things of Yahushua, following in the steps of Yahushua in his ministry.
And the reason is in the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to
whichever one that you serve, all right, that's the one that's going to actually end up doing what they do in the end times. Because even if you proclaim to be a spiritual man, at the end of the day and behind closed doors, you're serving the flesh. Okay? And the flesh is going to conquer your spirit because you feed the flesh more than you feed the spirit. And the spirit hates the flesh, and the flesh hates the spirit. The spirit is trying to get to that spiritual body that Yahweh has. And you have to do spiritual things to get there. And you have to reject the flesh. You have to fast. You have to pray. You have to have discipline. Discipline goes back into applying the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Okay? Rejecting things. Okay? Casting things to the side that's not profitable to the body. That's more.
Yeah, I want to go into that word, contrary.
Break it down. Break it down. I can get it.
This is in the Greek. It goes into it says Atikamai. It says the verb. It says to be set over against, opposite, to oppose, to
opposite.
Yeah, be observed to withstand. It goes to the strong, it says to lie, to that bones in there. Adversary, be contrary,
Adversary,
opposed.
adversary. So it's basically your enemy. It's basically the kryptonite, so to speak. It's basically if the spirit wants to go right, the flesh wants to go left. Okay? And that's why fasting is so important. Food is something that you have to sustain yourself in order to operate in this vehicle. But the spirit shows you that when you neglect, I'm not going to say neglect, when you afflict your soul by denying your flesh, your spirit grows bigger. It transcends. It graduates. It goes from one glory to another, and it shows the flesh that you're not in control. All right. Even though this is the vehicle that we need to do the Lord's work and the Lord's bidding, you're not in control. You can be subjected. You can be beaten. Yahweh Shai did perfectly, flawlessly. It was a flawless victory. All right. And the other prophets showed us how to move while operating in this damnable body that was conquered when Adam fell. When I say conquered, I mean I'm Salakia, that fell when Adam fell. Okay? These bodies that we living in are chains of darkness, okay? And they represent death. And that's why you have to supersede these bodies. And that's why these bodies war against the spirit. And that's why sometimes you'll be sitting around and you'll be in the spirit and you get a crazy ass thought. All right? That thought comes from your belly. That thought comes from your flesh. Are you going to water that thought? Or are you going to put that thought into subjection? Okay? Get some Paul?
I got you one, yeah. This is Sirach, chapter 18, verse 30. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock unto thy enemies that malign thee. Okay? So, what the Spirit is saying in that scripture is for you to be a spiritual juggernaut and grow in the spirit, all right, the things that this flesh thirsts for, you have to deny them, all right, to serve you. How about you now, Shai? You have to sacrifice, you have to deny things, all right. Your flesh want to do a lot of things, man. Okay, even in the truth, when you learn righteousness, your flesh begs to, through the spirit, you want to please Yahweh, and according to the law, there's certain things the law says you can do, but guess what? You have to deny yourself. You can't go out here and whack no men of Sodom. All right, we can't purge. We see all type of wickedness going out here. We can't purge certain sins out of Israel right now. We have to be self-controlled and not give in to fleshly desires. All right, there's a lot of things that your belly want to do that you can't do, and if you go do them anyway and don't have any self-control, and you're not rocking out according to the spirit, you're not only gonna be a laughing stock, you're gonna get put to death, man. All right. So, like the brother said, when it comes to fasting, when you learn how to afflict your soul and you rob your body of food that it asks for, of water that it asks for, all right, that's how you beat it into subjection. That's how you expel demons out of you. Our great king told us through fasting and prayer, some demons only go out that way. Okay? So it's all about building up the spirit and condemning this flesh and conquering this flesh. That's our first battle in this life. Is since after Adam fell, all right? After we fell, all right, the flesh became corruptible. All right, it became one with death. We were born into sin. Okay? So you have to deny this flesh on the daily. You have to die daily. You have to kill this flesh daily. And the only way you can do that is through the spirit. All right? Drinking these rivers of living water, eating this bread of life, and getting built up in his word, man. You got it, bro.
Appreciate the back up, man. This is Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusts against the spirit.
Come.
And the spirit against the flesh.
All right. So when you try to serve, I used to have a demon that I had to fast on. All right. This is a testimony. When I used to try to study, I would always get that sleeping demon. then I was like, damn, this shit keep happening. So when I identified the demon, I fasted about it. Never had that problem ever again. But I mean, if I tried 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10 times when I was trying to study, I would just fall asleep. I'd get tired. That was a fucking demon. So when I was trying to thirst for righteousness, read, study, meditate on the scriptures, all right, that flesh was coming against it, you know? And you have to, when you come to do the things of Yahweh Shem Shah, all right, this flesh is always at enmity with you. You can get that in Romans 7. You got more on that?
Yeah, and it says,
Bring it up.
and these are contrary the one to the other.
They're contrary one to another, man. And here in America, all we were taught to do is be carnal, be fleshly, get everything in abundance, more, more, more. All right, we weren't taught to do things in moderation here in America. The Spirit teaches you how to be balanced, be moderate, okay? Be self-controlled. That's what the Spirit teaches you how to do. So you have to put away those Babylonian teachings, the ways that we learn here in America, and learn the way of the Israelite man, the ways that how we were in ancient time past, man. These scriptures is what guided us. Things written aforetime was written for our learning, and it taught us. Give me that in is that Sirach 30 and 15 about at your table, watching what you eat and stuff. Well, what's Sirach 30 and 15 say?
Health and good estate of body above gold, and a strong body above infinite wealth.
All right, what the last verse say? In that chapter, what does that
A
last
cheerful and good heart will have care of his meat and diet.
Yeah, bring that one out. That's what I want.
All right. This is Sirach 30 and 25. A cheerful and good heart will have a care of his meat and diet.
All right. See, that's how we live in the nation of Israel. Okay? That scripture is for Israelites. Here in America, you weren't taught to watch what you eat. Read the label, see what the ingredients are in it. All right? You weren't taught that. But through the scriptures, when we read these scriptures, they tell us that this is how our forefathers live. They watched what they ate. They didn't just consume. And you can see me. Hey, I'm still conquering, fighting that demon. You see what I'm saying? So when you rocking according to the Spirit, it makes your life better in every which way, man. It teach you how to be more disciplined. Starting at the kind of people you be around. What the scripture say? Don't be unequally yoked with unbelievers. If you going around your family and all of them niggas, if you just sitting around them every day, man, them foul spirits get in your spirit, man. They get in your psyche. The next thing you know, you participating in them fucking basic, low level ass conversations they have. You go around them, you deal with them as accordingly. Hey, how y'all doing? How your auntie doing? How your mama doing? Boom, then you go back. You get the fuck from around them. All right? The Spirit also tells you how to eat, It gives you dietary laws, and like what the scriptures say, to eat moderately, all right, to drink moderately.
You got that coming out.
You see what I'm saying? Don't drink cash money, niggas drink till they throw up. You see that? Nah, we didn't do that shit.
That's coming out. We got a precept for that.
We didn't do that shit. All right? The scriptures told us wine was made to make the hearts of men merry.
In moderation.
Yeah, drunk in moderation, it'll make you feel merry. Hey, how you doing?
On that throw up shit.
You know what I'm saying? Hold up, let me finish. You got it. So when you are rolling in the Spirit, man, you don't do things in excess. You watch your words,
right?
All right, because we know what the Lord say. Every outer word you will be judged. You learn not to offend. All right, this is what the scriptures tell us. And the words of Yahweh Shem Shah, these scriptures is the Spirit, man. And we wanted it to consume us, not our flesh. Because naturally your flesh is going to consume you and bring you down to the pit, man. You got it, bro.
And why it's going to bring you down to the pit? Because the flesh is what you call unsatiable.
Unsatiable.
Huh?
That's how you say it, unsatiable. It can't be satisfied.
It can't be satisfied, man.
Yeah.
So no matter how much you pump into it, it's going to want more. And the more you pump into it, the more it's going to want. You got something in the drug world called a tolerance, okay? You have some people that can take one pain pill if it's high enough and die. And you got another person that can take that one pain pill and it just starts their night. And they got to take 6 more. Right on. Hey, come on. Okay? And that's because they're serving what? The flesh. And ultimately, that tolerance can only go so far before you what? You OD and die.
We're living in the flame.
Yeah. Hey, and that's a medical term as well as a spiritual term, Paul. You know what I'm saying? And looking at the times we're living in, a time, and look, shout out to fentanyl. We're living in a time where if you want to get high, you know what I'm saying? It's like playing Russian roulette. You heard me? Come on, I think the Lord did this, man.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all.
Yeah,
Man, the Lord did this. You want to get high? You want to go against what the Lord says? Well, it's going to be Russian roulette every time you attempt it. And you're going to attempt it 4 and 5 times a day because you're junkies. And you're serving the flesh. And you don't understand the spirit. Even with junkies, man. Junkies don't want to do what they do. But they have to serve the thing that has power over them. Okay?
And the thing about it, well, like it sounds cold-hearted what we're saying, is that those people that indulge in those things, when you come to bring this doctrine of life to them, they shun it. All right? Come on. They look at us as we are offscouring other nations. They deal with us as we are the offscouring other nations. You know, and that word offscouring going into trash, man. And why? Because we bringing forth good tidings, this good news that can get in them and they can conquer those demons. But they don't want to. Men love darkness. You see, so when we talk about guys like that, shout out to fentanyl. The Lord put fentanyl in their pathway to take their asses out. Because guess what? They don't want him. Well, what would they pick? This true for fentanyl. Their next high. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, who are we to lament and cry over who Yahweh Shema Shah pick their number and send them to the upper room, bottom up there to the upper room? Hey, I got a precept.
Bring it up, brother. Got it.
This is Wisdom of Solomon 9, and I'm gonna start at 14. For the thoughts of mortal men are miserable, and the thoughts of mortal men are carnal. Gotta get that money, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, gotta keep up with the Joneses, baby. They chase the bag. You only live once. That's the thoughts of mortal men. All right? They don't think of heavenly things. Their thought patterns does not go past this carnal realm. Okay? They're only into the here, the now, and this is what? Temporal. All right? They're in a vanity. That's it. And our devices are but uncertain. All right? The only thing certain is in this life is these scriptures. All right? Yahweh Shema Shah watches over his word to perform it. All right? Let me show you what's not certain. Give me what is certain. Get Sirach 19 and 19. This is what's certain. All right? But the devices here on this planet Earth, if you're rocking in the corner realm and letting your flesh get the best of you, as the scripture say, is uncertain. Bring it out.
This is Sirach chapter 19, verse 19. The knowledge of the commandments of the Lord Yahweh is the doctrine of life.
This is the doctrine of life. Keep reading.
And they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality.
Now that's for certain. All right? That is immortal. Okay, you live according to these scriptures. It's a certain thing that you will become an immortal and live forever and never taste death. Okay? But the things of this life, this temporal world, you're going to die. It's temporal. Okay? For the corruptible body presseth down on the soul. Okay? And when the way the corruptible body presses down on the soul, man, all you worry about how I'm going to get my bills paid. Is this woman cheating on me? All right? Where I'm going to get money for gas? This job ain't paying me enough. Who the Saints playing, man? I done bet my numbers, man. I hope I make some money on these bets. You just thinking about foul shit, man.
Fleshy things.
Fleshy things.
Worldly things.
Give Matthew 6 and 33. Give Matthew 6 and 33. Don't stand in hand with that.
34?
33, brother.
Oh, 33. It's Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33. But seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh.
Come on.
And his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you.
All right. All the things that press him down on the man's soul, all the things he worry about. If you seek Yahweh Shema Shai's will, all right, all those things that you worry about, how I'm gonna pay my bills, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that, hey, that's gonna be added unto you when you put spiritual things first, okay? And the earthly tabernacle weighed down on the mind that muses on many things. You see what I'm saying? But if you rocking the spirit, get 1 Corinthians 2 and 16. All right, it says the earthly tabernacle weighed down on the mind that muses on many things. In your mind, bro, if you don't put it in subjection, you'll be somewhere. You'll be all over the place, man.
Yeah, Brother DeVille said every day, he said, you supposed to, when you have random thoughts in your mind, you got to rebuke yourself every day.
You got to put them in the obedience of subjection to Yahweh Shema Shai. 2 Corinthians 10 chapter. Bring it out.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 16. For who have known the mind of the Lord?
Bring it out.
That he may instruct him.
Come on.
But we have the mind of Hamashiach.
All right, we're in the spirit. All right, we're men after Yahweh Shema Shai's own heart, man. So when you're rolling in the spirit, your mind can't muse upon anything. Because what are we all day? You talking about what we occupied in? Prophecy. Your mind stuck on prophecy. What can I do to get through Jacob's trouble? Am I built up in the spirit? When all this hell break loose, the Yahweh can will he take care of me, my family, and my Akim? That's why our mind is. Our mind is locked and loaded. Our mind is locked and loaded to the kingdom, man. So our mind don't have time to muse on many things. Over here, over there, over there. All this, we know that that's temporal. Okay? And hardly do we guess aright on the things that are up on the earth. Okay? When you just a carnal man, things, especially in Esau's society, things change like you change underwear, man. One day this is a fad, the next day another thing is a fad, man. Nothing is for certain. Okay?
Confusion.
It's confusion. You're right, brother. And with labor do we find things that are before us. Okay? But things that are in heaven, who have searched out. And those are the men that are in the spirit. All right? Those are the men that are seeking Yahweh Shema Shai where he may be found. We want to know heavenly things. We want to know what's going on with the kingdom to come. When we're in rulership, man, we see what's going on here. Things here are temporal. Okay? You got it, brother.
Give me that precept. Ephesians 2.
On the top. Okay. This is Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 2. It said, wherein time past ye walked according to the course of this world.
Okay, so we came from the same place that you people are living in, so we have an understanding. And by us having understanding, we were forced to have patience, all right? We used to do nigga shit. We came from the same lifestyle that y'all came from, all right? The scripture says we were Hellenized, right? We weren't born in this truth, so we understand where you're coming from. But once you realize that you're in the pigsty, are you going to stay there, or are you going to elevate and try to become something different and become something better and get your salvation and get the fuck up out of this place, man? Go ahead, brother.
Let me read it from the top.
Go ahead,
It says exactly what she just said. This is Ephesians 2 and 1. It says, it says, and you have he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins. Right? Wherein in the time past you walked according to the course of this world, according to the princes of the power of the air, and spirits that know worketh in the children of disobedience. And when you were saying that we once was a part of this world, we once partake in the sins of this world, by the philosophies of Esau, even so-called white men. All right, you know, going out to the right, to the left, you know, tattoos and different things and dreadlocks and all these different things. All right. You know, so we once was a part of this world. We once was. So now we came to obedience of what? To submit ourselves to Yahweh by Shema Shah. You see? Go ahead,
Hey, man, look, Esau was our daddy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord came in and adopted us and grafted us back into the fold, okay?
Right.
We were raised like that, okay? That's the way that we came up. This truth was new to us, even though it's the old path. Verse 3.
Verse 3, it says, among whom also we all had our conversations in times past in the lust of our flesh.
Man, I smoked 3 blunts last night, man. Man, I had a whole folk. You know what I'm saying? Look, man, I'm gotta, you know, I can't stay up with y'all all night because I gotta go to church in the morning, man. It's Easter, you know what I'm saying? Things of that, man. Or our next door neighbor has this. Let's go rob them. Just anything, whether it's going off in thought or going off in deed, going off in body. All right, we were all like that, and that's why the men of the Lord have the patience that they have, and that's why the Lord gave us the prescription and the way to do things, because we ain't perfect. We were probably more pieces of shit than you that come in the last hour, man. But change has to occur. That's another thing that we know, and that's another we have to stand on. Change has to occur.
You gave the cheat code.
You gave us the guide, the study guide.
You got it. In the reads it says, fulfilling the desire of the flesh and of the mind.
And the mind is what gets the flesh stirred up, because everything starts with a what? Everything starts with a thought, man. Okay? Everything starts with a thought.
The war is in your mind.
The war is in your mind. Your mind is a war. Okay? Now we know that the spirit is spirit, and the spirit happens before things actually play out in the flesh. But when the flesh wants to do things fleshy, it still starts with a thought. Now, are you gonna blow onto that fire, or are you gonna spit on that fire? You're gonna play into the flesh, or you're gonna play into the spirit. And that's why it's important to always feed the spirit as much as you can, because when the flesh does come into play, it has a strength and it has a power about itself. And it kind of demands what it wants. And if you've been built up 5 days, 6 days out of that week, and when the flesh demands what it wants, that one day off the week, you're gonna be like, man, go sit your bitch ass down somewhere, man. You got me fucked up. Matter of fact, I'm about to do a video. Hey, what you doing? Man, pull up, man. I'm about to pull up on you, man. The flesh cannot succeed when it's not being fed. What they say in that so-called woke world, disease cannot flourish in an alkaline state. The flesh cannot beat you up and have you falling off in the spiritual state. Okay? When you're around Akim, does the flesh fuck with you? It's hard. But you can't be around Akim 24/7. But as much as you can be around them, and as much as you can stay in touch with them, it's spiritual. It's spiritual. Just hanging out with your brother is spiritual, bro. I'm telling you. You got some more?
It feeds the flesh spiritually, where the flesh don't do to go off when you're being around like-minded men. That's in his faith. That's following it.
Wait, you said that wrong.
Yeah, he said it backwards. You said it backwards. Go ahead.
It feeds the spirit.
Yeah, it feeds the spirit. Yeah, come. It feeds the spirit. So like it feeds the spirit when the brothers is around like-minded men that's in his faith, that's calling on Yahweh while y'all shine.
When you around the active, all right, like the brother say, that's an alkaline environment.
God.
All right, cancer, disease. All right, it cannot live in an alkaline environment. Now, you as yourself, all right, give me 2 Ezra 14 and start around verse 12. You as yourself, your house, okay, all right, and give me you give me Philippians 2 and 12. Bring it out.
This is 2 Ezra chapter 14 and verse 12. It says, and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order.
All right. When the scriptures say set thine house in order, it means get yourself in order. And the way you get yourself in order is by submitting to this glorious gospel. Okay? So guess what you got to do with yourself? You spiritually, you got to make your house an alkaline state, because when the 11 tries to creep in,
Right.
When that cancer tries to keep in,
Come on.
and
Inflammation.
it comes through your thought patterns, you know, it comes through your mind, it can't live.
Right.
All right? Bring out that precept. You know what you got?
It's Philippians 2:12. Wherefore, my beloved, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling.
And the way you do that is actualizing yourself spiritually, getting built up in these scriptures. That's how you work on your soul salvation. Not giving occasion to the flesh and doing whatever it takes. They pray without ceasing, whatever it takes to build your spirit up. Okay? And that's how you get your house in order. Keep reading.
It reads, this is 2 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 13. Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people.
Come on.
Confront such of them as be in trouble.
All right. So if you want to get delivered out of Babylon, once you get yourself in order, what do you have to go do? Freely you receive, freely you go give to others. All right? You have to go give alms. Alms save them, deliver from I'm roughly paraphrasing, but alms deliver from sin. You know, I'm roughly paraphrasing, Salakia, for roughly paraphrasing.
I want to say alms cover of sins.
Is that in Tobit? Yeah,
It's in more than one. It's in more than one.
Okay. So you have to go teach other men also. Hey,
Cover up a multitude
this
of
is
sins.
dead. Hey, hook this up. Hook up. Give me the charger for this laptop. All right. You can bring out your precept, right?
Give me Romans the 7th chapter, 14th verse. You want me to get this Romans 7? How can we get it?
You say Romans 14,
7, 14 verse. 7, 14.
Oh yeah, you talk what I told you to get.
Oh, you want me to get what you told me to get?
No,
I had got what you told me to get. 2 Philippians.
All right,
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. Go to Romans 7, 14.
This is Romans 7 and 14. It says, for we know that the law is spiritual.
All right, the law is spiritual. The law is life. The law teaches you how to put your physical members in check and how to try to reach out for what we ultimately want. We want salvation. We want to be delivered out of this place. We want to see the fall of our enemies, man. And the only thing that's standing in between us and that is this motherfucking flesh, bro. People that's gonna fall to the M to the O to the T to the B. You know why they're gonna fall to it? Because of the flesh, because of comfort, because of food. Okay? For the most part, man, when men come into this truth, they don't fall out over Christianity. They don't fall out over Islam. They don't really fall out over other doctrines. They fall out over the flesh. They fall out over physical women. Okay? They fall out over comforts. They fall out over jobs. They fall out over money. And that all goes back to the what? That all goes back to the flesh. Bring out that precept, brothers. Romans 7 and 14.
And it reads, it says, but I am carnal, sold under sin.
And that goes back into that. Our bodies, man. Okay? We're under chains of darkness until the Lord comes back and He gives us the kind of body that He has. One that won't go off. Okay? One that's pertaining to the new covenant, man. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 15, for that which I do, I allow not.
So the things that I do, and basically the things that come into his flesh that he knows is off, those thoughts continually come and plague him. Okay? These different hungers and these different off-ass things, they continually hunt him. And he is us. We are one another. So the things that come and test one of us, they basically come and test all of us in different forms and fashions. Because the thing that he can't conquer, I could conquer. The things that I can't conquer, he can conquer easily. But we're coming into a time where all things have to be what? Conquered. Go ahead, bro.
Right? It says, for what I would that do I not, but what I hate that I do.
So that goes back into the flesh. That goes back into all thoughts. That goes back into falling and slipping. But the scripture says a righteous man falleth 7 times, but he get back up. As long as you're living in this flesh, you're going to be subject unto vanity, okay? Go ahead, huh?
Verse 16, Romans chapter 7 and verse 16. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good.
Keep on fucking up, man. You'll labor on there and be subject to the law. Okay? Go ahead. Al.
God,
Yeah, man. Come on.
God.
Romans 7.
Hey, hold up. Hey, get Galatians 4 and 4.
You hold yours. I'm gonna get.
All right, get Galatians 4 and 4. Hey, that's some real shit, bro. Yeah.
Okay, this is all right. This is Galatians 4 and 4. But when the fullness,
And you get John 1 and 17.
Galatians 4 and 4. But when the fullness of the time was come, Yahweh sent forth his son, made of a woman, made under the law.
All right, but he came to give you grace from the penalty
Of
the law.
Yeah.
Okay? So when the brothers say, look, if you can't abide by the law, you're going to what? Get judged according to the law. You don't take advantage of this grace given from Hamashiach Yahushua. And how did you word it, brother?
I don't remember.
It
Bring out that scripture and I can tell you how.
Bring it out.
This is John.
No, this is the one he just called for.
Yeah.
But basically, I was just saying, like when Paul was saying, the things that he would not do, he does. So if you keep falling for the tricks of the body, you're gonna have to fall under the law. You know, and the law, what? Does the law quicken or does the law kill?
No, the law, the letter is against you when you go out.
Come on, now.
Bring it out.
Oh, Galatians 4 and 4?
Yeah, bring it out.
Okay. Galatians 4 and 5. To redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
All right, so the way he redeemed you that were under the law, all right, the penalty of death that comes from the law, he gave you grace. He gave you mercy. Now, when you don't take advantage of that grace and that mercy, if you don't roll in the spirit, guess what? The penalty of the law is going to judge you. The judgment of that law, and what does the law do? It brings forth death. You're going to be judged according to the law. Give Romans 6 and 23. All right? We're not out here teaching that you're justified by the law. We're saying if you can't keep the law 100% like our great king did, all right, you're not gonna when you break any piece of it, you're guilty of breaking it all. Okay? And there's no human in this fallen state that can keep that law. Any man that say he hasn't sinned is a liar, man. Okay? So you have to roll in the spirit and rock according to Yahweh glorious gospel, so the penalty of the law don't kill your ass, man. Bring it out.
This is Romans 6 and 23. For the wages of sin is death.
For the wages of sin is death. That's how the law gonna judge you. It's gonna slay you. And it was slaying us until our great king came to the planet Earth, man. It was slaying us, man. Slaying of bullets, killing turtle doves, you know. That was a shadow of things to come, man. Okay? When our great king came and gave that ultimate sacrifice, all right, he had mercy on us. Guess what? The law is unmerciful. So if you're rocking according to the flesh, you are condemned. If you don't learn how to let your spirit overtake your flesh, you are condemned by the law. It's going to slay you. It's going to kill you by default. You got it, brother.
But the gift of Yahweh.
You had finished that out?
In John, I never read it.
Read it.
This is John chapter 1 and verse 17.
Come on.
For the law was given by Moses.
All right, the law was our schoolmaster to bring us to Yahweh. You got to say that every time. The law showed you the difference between right and wrong, clean and unclean, holy and unholy. Okay? That's what it did. Bring it out.
But grace and truth came by Yahweh HaMashiach.
But Yahweh came on the scene because the law was killing every fucking body. And he said, look, I'm going to come be that atoning sacrifice so you can gain eternal life, all right? And you get grace from the penalty of death. Because all of you have done things worthy of death. So what I'm going to do, hey, I'm going to come stand in as that living sacrifice, all right, to take away the sins of the world so you can achieve mercy and grace, man. And the only way you can do that is by rocking according to the Spirit. All right? You got it, brother.
This is Matthew chapter 5 and verse 19. It said, whosoever shall break one of the least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called the great in the kingdom of heaven. So that goes into what the elder saying. If you teaching men that the laws are done away with, breaking the smaller least of the commandments, all right. That's why it says, "Seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling." All right, you have small commandments that you can keep. All right, not like go back into cutting your beard off and shaving your heads and lining your beard up. That's small. That's like the least of the commandments. You can hold those holy, right? And calling on the name of the Lord. All these least commandments that they're breaking in this society. All right, and they got these camps that's preaching that you don't have to call on the name of the Lord. You don't have to know the name. But that's the small least of commandment that you're breaking. Ultimately, it's going to lead to the death.
Yeah, camps don't teach that you have to cut your beard.
Right.
But camps teach that you can be justified by the law, and that's not true.
Right.
The law. Nah, you gotta be rocking
At IUIC.
Yeah. Give me Romans 3 and 20. Give me Romans 3 and 20.
This is Romans chapter 3 and verse 20. And it reads, it says, therefore by the deeds of the law, there shall no flesh be justified.
All right, so when a brother coming to truth, we don't just beat the law across his head. You're not justified by the law. Okay? You're not justified by the deeds of the law. All right, we got, the Lord gave us that beautiful law in ancient time past, and our people, we couldn't keep it as long as we had it from the beginning. Okay, we had the law way back in the garden. All right, the reason we were kicked out of the garden was because they transgressed the law. All right, so you're not justified by the law. Bring it out.
And the bridge it says, shall no flesh be justified in his sight, for by the law is the knowledge of sin.
That's what it's about. The schoolmaster to bring you to Hamashiach Yahushua. Bring it out.
Verse 21, but now the righteousness of Yahweh without the law is manifest.
Come on.
Being witnessed by the law and the prophets.
All right, the way the reason is being witnessed by the law and the prophets. All right, because our great king was prophesied in the law and by the prophets. All right, to come to take away death. All right, to bring us immortality. All right, the law seen that woman in John 8 chapter that was caught in adultery. The law was ready to do what to her?
Kill her.
It was ready to slay her.
I wish I jumped in.
You know what I'm saying? The prophets prophesied of this guy that was going to come bring forth grace and mercy and lift up that standard to the Gentiles. Bring it out.
Verse Romans 3 and 22, it says, even the righteousness of Yahweh, which is by faith of Yahushua HaMashiach.
And that's the spirit. All right? Yahushua is the word. So when you have faith in his word and you live according to his word, all right, you're rocking according to the spirit. All right, not to get off topic, Yeah, let's bring out the spirit scriptures.
Give me Romans 8 from the top.
This is Romans 8 in Romans chapter 8 and verse 1. There is therefore no condemnation of them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua.
Shalom, you brothers on the comment board. Shalom, everybody on the comment board too. Shalom, brother. Yabashima Shabbatah.
The brother Nasi as well, man.
Yeah, Shalom, Nasi.
Shalom,
Yabashima Shabbatah.
Okay, so read that again.
This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 1.
Matter of fact, read the whole verse.
This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 1. There is therefore now no condemnation to them which are in Hamashiach Yahushua, who walk not after the flesh, but after the spirit.
We understand and we comprehend what the spirit is and who the spirit is, okay? And it goes back to the example that is Yahushua, okay? So if you're under Yahushua, you're not under what? The law, right? Do we follow the law? Yes, because Yahushua tells us to the best of our ability to love him. And loving him is following the law. But he is the only entity that can wash us away from our sins and grant us salvation, mercy, and forgiveness, and protect us from the law. Yeah, and I said it, protect us from the law. Two-thirds are not going to be protected from the law. They're going to fall under the law because they rejected what?
Knowledge of wisdom and understanding.
That cornerstone, man. Yahweh Shai. Read it, bro. Bible Shai.
This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 2. It says, for the law of the spirit of life and Hamashiach Yahushua have made me free from the law
Of sin and death. So he is the intercessory. He is the one that can grant us forgiveness. He is the one that can jump in our judgment and come between Yahweh himself and our punishment and give us salvation. He's going to be the one. He's that lawyer in the time of us being persecuted that stands up for us, man. All right, that pleads for us. Because keep this in mind. Yahweh himself said, I have given all power and judgment unto my son. So anything that Yahweh Shai brings forth to the Father accepts it, man. And he doesn't question it because he trusts and he knows that his son is what he made him to be. Keep reading.
And it reads, it says, verse 3, it says, for what the law could not do,
Come on.
in that it was weak through the flesh,
Mm-hmm.
Yahweh sending his own son
In the likeness of sinful flesh. So the things that we couldn't accomplish, he came and he showed us how to do it. He gave us the guide. And the things that we still can't do because we are not him and he was made better and bigger than us, even though we got to follow those footsteps, he's going to vouch for us. He's going to be like, I know what they went through. I know what they're walking through. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do it like me. He wasn't perfect like me. But God damn it, he's going to pass this test. All right? He's faithful. His mind has been brainwashed from death into life. He's doing the best he can. And Father, I'm about for him. Let him be one of those guys. Okay? If you take away the flesh out of the equation, mentally and spiritually, he's there. Okay? He's there. And it all goes back to the election at the end of the day. So it's not about the works, but you have to do the works. It all goes back to the election at the end of the day, man. Finish that scripture off.
in reading verse 3, it says, for what the law could not do, in that it was weak through the flesh, Yahweh sending his own son in likeness of sinful flesh, and for sin, condemned sin in the flesh.
Okay? So, and it goes back to the Lord delivering us from these damnable bodies. The Lord delivering us from these chains of darkness. Okay? The body that Yahweh Shai has, which is a spiritual body, a glorified body, that's what we seek after because they're sin proof. And then on top of that, them being sin proof is going to be under the new covenant. Okay? Read verse 4.
I got a quick precept.
You got it.
This is 2 Corinthians 3 and 6, who also have made us able ministers of the New Testament, not of the letter, which is the law, but of the Spirit. For the letter killeth, but the Spirit giveth life. You see what I'm saying? So, like the brother said, we were not justified by the letter. The letter just taught us right from wrong, but the Spirit, the gospel, the doctrine that Yahweh by Shema Shai gave us, that's what brings us forth life. Okay? That's what gives us life, man. And that's why we can do all things through Yahweh Shai who strengthens us, man. When you're occupied in prophecy and living according to this word. You got it, bro. Go ahead.
Verse 4, Romans chapter 8 and verse 4 says that the righteousness of the law might be fulfilled in us.
Because we still follow the law. We can't perfect the law, but we still follow the law, man. And we teach, we push following the law. All right? But ultimately, that grace and that mercy, we teach that and we push that as well. And we give common life examples to make the correlation and the differentiations.
You rehearse the righteous act. You keep the law, the commandments that you can keep, you keep them. Now, being in captivity, there's no way you're going to be able to keep all of the law.
Because it's not edifying.
All right, and that's where grace comes in. That's where Yahweh Shai's grace comes in. Something simple as going to work. All right, we are subject to payments. We have to serve Nebuchadnezzar. So If you have to work on the day that the Shabbat goes in, all right, you cannot go to work. You're going to get fired. All right. So when you read Exodus the 31st chapter, what does it say when you transgress the Shabbat? That's a sin unto death. That's a sin unto death. But according to the Spirit and what our great King came and did, all right, we get grace because of that. When our great King came and seen the nation of Israel, all right, all throughout Judea, and the Romans ruling over them, all right, he said he was moved with compassion because they were sheep without a shepherd, man. They didn't know how to move in captivity, but the Romans lording over them, especially the Israelite foreigners that was all throughout Asia Minor. Okay? So this gospel, he taught us how to navigate in captivity, man, and take advantage of grace. And that happens when you roll through the Spirit, when you roll in the Spirit, man. You got it, brother.
Bring it out.
This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 1. It says, "And that time Yahushua went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and his disciples were in hunger, and began to pluck the ears of corn and to eat."
So on the Shabbat, these brothers was together in the Spirit, doing the Father's work, not their own work, and they got hungry. They was walking through a cornfield, and some of them started picking corn, which is considered work. Go ahead.
Verse 2, it says, "But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, thy disciples do that which is not lawful to do upon the Sabbath day."
So they was trying to hold them into the law. They was like, "Hey man, all of y'all really are meat for death. The things that y'all just did, we really need to put y'all to death," because they didn't understand spirituality. The only thing that they understood was the law. Okay? They didn't understand who Yahushua was. They was actually looking at the law. Yahushua is the law, man. Okay? And that's why he has the ability to judge and to separate the wheat from the tares, because he knows. Okay? He is the law, man. He comes in a volume of the book. The law.
Right.
He doesn't do away with the law. He still enforces the law. He tells you, according to what Isaiah the 66th chapter, the 66th chapter, when he come back, you eating pork.
When he come to judge and make war, he's making his judgment according to the law.
Yeah, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's coming to enforce the law.
Yeah, man.
Get Isaiah 42 and 21. He's coming to enforce it, establish it on the planet Earth, man. Bring it out.
This is Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 21. "The Lord Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable."
And make it honorable. How you gonna make it honorable? How is Yahweh gonna make his name dreadful amongst the heathen and make people respect his name? By bringing calamity, judgments on the planet Earth. All right, that's what's gonna make people fear his name again. Because right now people don't fear the name of Yahweh Shem Shai.
They gotta put some respect on it.
Yeah, the way you're gonna put respect on it is by judging them according to the law. Let them judgments reign. Oh, you want to do this? Okay, I got something for you. And when all these calamities and judgments come down, all right, people gonna want to start doing what? Respecting his law.
And when they on
They're gonna start wanting to keep the king's commandments.
right. Hey, that's right.
Straight the fuck up, man.
That's right.
You got it, bro.
Yeah,
No, finish what he had.
No. Go to you want me to finish? I was about to.
Yeah, you don't want.
Go ahead.
I had about that precept, but when
Go
you
ahead,
start
bro.
something,
Go
finish.
back.
Make your point.
I'm there. This is Romans chapter 8 and verse 2. It says, "For the law of the Spirit of life in Hamashiach Yahushua have made me free from the law of sin and death."
That's what I had.
No,
Yeah,
that's not what he had,
I
bro.
was in Romans 7. I was about that. Well, I wasn't.
No, you was in the about the Pharisees, the scripture about the Pharisees.
Okay, I was in Matthew then.
Yeah, you was in Matthew.
Go to Matthew. That's Matthew 12. I was in Matthew 12. Go to 3.
This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 3. "But he said unto them, Have ye not read what David did?"
Come on. And this is and he's talking about an actual encounter that happened. All right, and hey man, David was a man after the own Lord, after the Lord's heart himself, man. Because this was actually what he did was before Hamashiach. But at the end of the day, man, 1 + 1 = 2, man. And if you working and toiling for the Lord is gonna give you a spirit and show you how to move at the end of the day. Go ahead, read the account.
And the reason says when he was in hunger, and they were with him, verse 4, how he entered into the house of Yahweh
Into the temple.
and did eat the showbread,
Showbread. Go ahead.
which was not lawful for him to eat, neither for them.
Because they wasn't Levites, okay? They wasn't under what you call the priesthood. And that's what Yahweh came and gave us. But, man, these brothers was doing the work of the Lord. They got hungry. They needed to eat. Their flesh was getting weak. And they ate, man. Okay? Go ahead.
It says,
And guess what? During that time, he had people trying to kill him. You see? He wasn't the kingdom was established, but he was a fugitive. You see what I'm saying?
He was basically operating as a servant just like we are.
Like we are, right?
Yeah,
in
man.
captivity.
Yeah.
All right? He was like, oh, I got to take advantage of this grace. I'm not about to starve to death. It's the same thing that happened with the Maccabees, taking up arms on the Shabbat. It's like, man, if these Grecians come fuck with us again,
kill us, man.
we're not gonna let them kill us. We're gonna fight on the Shabbat. You see, those were shadows of things to come about grace. All right, for the nation of Israel, man. But what our great King came about to us. That was showing you that when you are in captivity in situations, you can take advantage of grace. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
And the reason says, for him to eat, neither for them which were with him, but only for the priests.
All right, and that goes back into the law at that time when you go into the Levites. All right, according to the law, they wasn't supposed to partake of those things because they weren't the priests. But they were in very extraordinary times. You can liken the time of King David doing what he was going through to us being slaves over here right now. Okay, you can liken it to the same because if King David was living in the time of peace, I'm telling you, he wouldn't have done it. If we were living in the time of peace, we wouldn't tolerate the things that come before our very eyes every day. I'm telling you. Okay, so this is not the time to be law enforcers. We are law pushers. We pushing the law, but we can't enforce the law right now. And the laws that we break day in and day out because we don't have a choice, that's where grace and mercy comes in. This brother got more than one fabric on. I got more than one fabric on. Okay? We can't get around that right here, right now. And that's why we're rehearsing the righteous acts. Go ahead.
This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 5. Or have ye not read in the law how that on the Sabbath days the priests in the temple profane the Sabbath and are blameless? Verse 6. But I say unto you that in this place is one gathered than the temple.
That there's one greater than the temple. That's going back into who? Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai came to give us grace and mercy. And the only reason he was able to do it because he came and walked in the flesh and he gave himself up. He gave up his life so that he can have the authority to do the things that he do now. Okay, this is preaching Yahweh Shai. When they say preaching Yahweh Shai, this is what preaching Yahweh Shai is, and this is one of the I wouldn't call it a luxury, but this is one of the perks of preaching Yahweh Shai. Okay, grace and mercy, and you need it as a fucking captive. We're prisoners of war. Prisoners of war. The rules kind of change. Does that mean we're going to eat pork? Does that mean we're going to cut our beards? Does that mean we're going to live like these Christians? Hell fucking no. Okay. We're going to follow the law to the best of our abilities. And when we come into slave circumstances, we're going to be the slaves that we are over here. We're worms. Jacob, thy worm. Go and he commanded us to serve Nebuchadnezzar. And we're going to serve Nebuchadnezzar until Nebuchadnezzar's laws become so contrary to the law that you're not going to be able to tell us apart. Okay? And those days are coming up on us very, very, very swiftly. Right? Go ahead. You got like one.
We stopped serving Nebuchadnezzar when that MOTB is made, you know, when it's put on every facet of society, you know, and when he, you know, when he makes these potions, things like that. All right, but we still go to work. We still stop at red lights. We still pay taxes. You know, we still abide by the laws because the Lord have him ruling the kingdom of men. You serve Nebuchadnezzar till you can't serve him no more. Till he interferes with prophecy. You see what I'm saying?
Verse 7.
This is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 7. But if ye had known what is the meaning, what is this meaning, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, ye would not have condemned the guiltiness.
Okay? So that's the Lord showing his mercy. That's the Lord showing his grace. That's the Lord showing you he is the difference and he is the light, the way, and the truth, and he's the only way to the Father, man. Okay? The law wasn't perfect, but the law served its purpose.
No, the law is perfect. Mm-hmm. We're imperfect.
We're imperfect. Salakia.
Creation subject to vanity.
That's right, brother.
The law is perfection.
Salakia. We're imperfect, and he's coming to serve our what? Our imperfections, man. Okay? The law still stands. And the law is actually going to still be standing when we get to the kingdom. Okay? But we're not going to offend. Go ahead, out.
Verse 8, it says, for the Son of Man is Lord even of the Sabbath day.
Let's read that again, huh?
It says, this is Matthew chapter 12 and verse 8, it says, for the Son of Man is Lord.
That sacrifice is still a sacrifice on the Shabbat. That sacrifice is still a sacrifice when you have to call upon that grace, when you have to call upon that mercy. Because we don't have to call upon grace and mercy just like perpetually 24/7. A lot of our predicaments and circumstances that we're in, we follow the law flawlessly. But there's certain situations that happen that we have to call upon that grace, and we have to call upon that mercy. Okay, it happens a lot. But a lot of times in our working life, and we follow the law. But there's a lot of times where we get put in the pinch that where we have to serve, the Lord, and we have to, do things that's out of our hands. Let's say that, do things out of our hands. Because there's nothing that can happen in our waking life that'll force you to eat a fucking bacon burger. That'll force you to go lay with another man's wife. Okay? That'll force you to do a whole plethora of other things. Going to get something planted inside of your body. All right? And it's a plethora of other things, man. So it's not a license to sin. Right? It's not a license to sin, man. Oh, Pop, you got something? I got another one. Go to Matthew 26.
I got you one. All right, I got you one. All right, this is John chapter 3, verse 6. That which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is spirit. Okay? And the way you're born on the spirit, you have to be born again. You have to renew your thinking. All right? This doctrine that the Lord gave the elect men of the nation of Israel, what it does, it makes you have to make a lifestyle change. All right? You have to change your company, change your diet. You have to buffet yourself, discipline yourself, and then you have to be able to teach other men to do so also. Okay? That's what happens. You become a new man, and you have a new life. All right? That's what happens when you're born of the spirit. When you're born of the flesh, you're a typical American. Do that means you out here just breaking the laws of the land? No, but Joe Sixpack, he's of the flesh. He wants his children to go to college and make some of their self. He's talking about what he's going to do with his 401k, so on and so forth. And when you're of the flesh, you're gonna reap smoke and ashes. All right, but when you're of the spirit, you looking forward to heavenly things. All right, you're looking forward to the end of this society. Marvel not that I said it to thee, you must be born again. All right, the way you be born again, like I hate to regurgitate what I just said. All right, you have to learn this new way of life that we've learned. When a brother comes out of this world and he comes to account, all right, what happens? One of the first things he learns, the name of Yahweh Shema Shah, he learns how to salute and embrace a brother. He can't come to a brother and be like, in the world, what's up, nigga?
Hey, my dog, my
What's down
G,
with you,
man,
nigga?
what's down with you, baby?
Nah, we ain't niggas. We kings. Yahweh Shemel Shah Barakatah, brother. May the Lord, man, I bless you in the name of Yahweh Shemel Shah. You know, you learn how to be an aristocrat. You start just learning through new things. All right, the brother do something to offend you, you deal like a king do. You know,
Through the scriptures.
Hey, I did this. I don't appreciate it. I appreciate it if you don't let it happen again. It's not personal. You know what I'm saying? But how would you deal with that in the world? Hey, bro, come on, put up your dukes. Let's get it. You know, like a degenerate.
I got him. I'm
So-
gonna catch him slipping.
These scriptures just it has you dealing with different type of women. A certain type of woman, the more you mature in the scriptures, you're gonna be like, I don't want no part of that shit. Her name, anything that say Bonquisha, Trunquisha, you know what I'm saying? Anything with blue and green hair, I don't want no part of that shit. You see? And that's what the spirit does. Your thinking, your thought process, it starts to turn into something else. And that's what you call being born again. You just, because when you first come and get enlightened, you're a baby. A baby don't know shit. So when we first came, before we came to this truth, we were babies. We didn't know the difference between unholy and holy and clean and unclean. Okay?
And you can't judge like that.
All right? The wind bloweth where it listeth, and thou hearest the sound thereof, but cannot tell when it cometh. And that's how the spirit rolls, man. Okay? When you're dealing with the spirit, man, the spirit will take you every which way, man. All right? In different facets of your life. You'll be like, well, damn, I didn't even know that was off. You know? Damn, the way I was talking to myself, I got to stop doing it. The spirit take you every which way where you were corrupted. You see what I'm saying? And it purges you. All right? So everyone that is born is of the spirit. And when they say everyone that is born is of the spirit, let's talk about elect men. Because the fool never learned. The fool is never gonna stop. He's stuck in his ways. Okay? And when our great king was talking to Nicodemus, man, Nicodemus was a grown ass man. He was part of the Pharisees. He was a man of good report. But guess what? When it came to spiritual things, it was like Yahweh was talking to a child. It's like he was talking to a child. Let me go up to verse 4. That's why I say the carnal man, the fleshly man don't understand the things of the spirit. All right? This is verse 4. Nicodemus said unto him, how can a man be born when he is old? And can he enter a second time into his mother's womb and be born? See, he wasn't spiritual at all. But guess what? He kept that law. He was one of the fathers of the law. All right? He was held in, he was a man of good report according to the law. But when it came to spiritual things, he didn't know shit. All right? He didn't know nothing. So he was a baby. He had to learn. He had to get under the disciples and Yahweh Shai and learn this glorious gospel, man. You know? Because the spirit, man, hey, if you're not rolling in the spirit, all of these calamities, all of these judgments that we've been prophesying about, they're going to consume you. They're going to consume you. They're going to overtake you. So right now, where we at in prophecy, man, you don't have much time, man. Repent for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. All right? Start fasting. That's what builds your spirit up, fasting. Give me that. Give me that Isaiah 58. Start around 3 to 5. You know what I want?
It says, behold, ye fast for strife.
Start at verse 5. What 5 says?
Is it such a fast that I have chosen?
That's what I want. Start right there.
This is Isaiah 58, chapter 58 and verse 5. Is it such a fast that I have chosen?
Come on.
A day for a man to afflict his soul?
And when you afflict your soul, when you afflict your flesh and don't feed your flesh, guess what it does for your spirit? It strengthens it. The Lord, when you ask the Lord for how about Shemam Shai for spiritual things, he gives it to you because it pleases him to see you afflicting your flesh. You don't go eat for a couple of days, your flesh is gonna let you know about it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That stomach gonna talk to you. He's gonna be like, man, he's gonna tell the brain, what the fuck is you doing?
It's gonna go into panic mode.
Yeah. You'll get sick. Sometimes you don't feel good.
And the flesh doesn't need food. The flesh doesn't need pussy. Salaki. The spirit doesn't need food. The spirit doesn't need pussy. The spirit doesn't need water. The spirit doesn't need movies. It doesn't need nothing that entertains the belly, man. You got it, Paul.
Bring it out.
And the reader says, is it to bow down his head as a bull rush?
Come on.
And to spread sackcloth and ashes upon him?
All right. When you spread sackcloth and ashes upon you in ancient time, that means you are humbling yourself. Yeah. You was humbling yourself before the Lord. Right. The Lord only deals with the meat. All right. That shows you was in the spirit of contriteness. All right. So when you fast, that's how you get the Lord's attention. He resisted the proud. All right. He say, look at my servant down there, man. All right. You trying to communicate with me. All right. I hear you, son. You know, the angels bring your prayers up to him. You know, bring it out.
And it reads, it says, wilt thou call this a fast?
To do what?
In an acceptable day to the Lord Yahweh?
Okay. And let's see what it's for.
Verse 6. Is not this the fast that I have chosen to those that bands of wickedness?
To loose the bands of wickedness. That's what it says?
It says to
loose the bands of wickedness. To loose the bands of wickedness. All right? How do bands of wickedness get on you? Through the flesh, the carnal man. The carnal man is bound, all right? He's a prisoner. Okay? Our great king came to do what? Free the prisoners in hell. All right? When you fast, it comes to lose those bands, those shackles that are on your mind. Okay? Because guess what a war is? It's in your mind.
Right.
Bring it out.
And it reads, it says,
it comes, when you're fasting, it executes your flesh. Bring it out.
To undo the heavy burdens.
The heavy burdens. Things that press down on your soul, man. And we all have them. If you're in Babylon and you're Israelite, you have some burdens you're dealing. You have some shit you're dealing with, man. And the Lord puts us in the land of the Chaldeans for our good. For what? So we can learn how to be more than overcomers. Okay? When these boxers are fighting and training, all right, before these bouts, man, they're going through holy hell. Their training is strenuous. The Lord is doing the same thing to us right now. All right? And one of the tools he gave us to utilize is fasting, to build up your spirit. Bring it up.
And it reads, it says, and to let the oppressed go free.
We want the captive exile hasten to be loose from the pit, man. Okay? And only spiritual men rolling in the spirit, are going to get loosened from this motherfucker, man. Bring it out. And this is what fasting does. It builds up your spirit so you can overcome the flesh. The flesh is wicked. The flesh is a carnal man is a dead man. Bring it out.
And it says, and that ye break every yoke.
Break every yoke, man. All right? You conquer that flesh. You conquer that flesh, and the way you break your yoke, you become a spiritual juggernaut. Give me James 1 and like 3. Or 2. It might be 2. You want to get to this point. In your walk, you want to get to this level.
James 1 and 2. My brethren, count it all joy when you fall into diverse temptations.
Hey, that's where you want to get to. All right? In this life, no matter what comes upon you, all right, when you get bad news, hey, you take it as a fucking challenge. Challenge, Salaki. Oh man, you ever had one of them days, like you remember the movie on ATL when old girl came to tell T.I. something? He said, if it's bad news, I don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? You have those days. But when you roll into the spirit, King David also said, when you're full of the law, nothing can offend you. All right? You want to count it all joy when various tribulation come to you. No matter what the fuck it is, no matter how bad the news it is. That's what happened when you built on your most holy faith, growing in the spirit. And that's what fasting will get you to, man. When you'll conquer those demons that plague you, and anything brought up against you, you know, I'm more than a conqueror. I can handle it. Bring it out. It's more. Keep reading.
You talking me?
I'm
James?
talking to you, bro. I pointed to you, brother.
Okay. This is Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 13. It says, if thou turn away from thy foot from this. No, that's not really the word. This verse 7, Salakia. This is Isaiah 58, verse 7. Is it not to deal thy bread to the hungry,
Come on.
and that thou bring the poor that are cast out of thy house?
You see, when the spirit get heavy on you, that's gonna make you just want to go prophesy and help your brothers. All right? The hungry is the elect men, your brothers. The poor is the elect men. All right? We're not going out here to no guys under a bridge, feeding them no bread, giving them no water, so they could live another day to do what? Be a degenerate.
Fentanyl.
All right? To get some fucking fentanyl, all right? And kill themselves, man. All right? This is when you in the spirit, the Lord is you're gonna want to take care of the body. You want to show love, all right, to your brothers that are in need. All right? Bring it out.
And it reads, it says, when thou seest the naked, that thou cover him, and that thou hide not thyself from thy own flesh.
When you teach the truth of the scriptures, you're covering the naked men. Okay? When you got a young brother amongst you and he's coming out of the world and he's coming to learn, you putting garments on him. You putting white linen on him. You're covering him. All right?
And you feed them.
And you're feeding them. You're giving them bread and water. Rivers of living water. No, and then Paul, what that is in Hebrews the 6th chapter, he say, fuck that. You need some meat. It's time for you to start eating meat, brother.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Bring it out.
Verse 8, it says, this is Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 8. Then shall thy light break forth as the morning.
And when that light breaks forth at the morning, that means you conquered this flesh. You're conquering this flesh. You're starting to have more victories. You know, because we have these little bouts where you lose, you know, where you fuck up, where you fall short. You know, righteous man falls 7 times, but he get back up. But the stronger you get, the more you wax in the spirit, the less you're supposed to have those taking L's. Like we're towards the end. All right? Salvation is not. We're supposed to be taking less and less L's now. According to prophecy, towards the end, we're supposed to be getting stronger and stronger, waxing stronger and stronger in the spirit.
Conquering these things.
Yeah, not getting weaker and weaker. Bring it out.
And it reads, and thy health shall spring forth speedily.
All right, and this is what fasting does. All right, it brings you closer to Yahweh by Shem Shai. And all of that power, all of that glory, all that majesty the Lord He gives it to you. All right, so you can conquer demons here in Babylon. That's why people fast, to build up your spirit. All right. The spirit man can't nothing in this society fuck with him. He's an immortal amongst mortals. You have a spiritual mindset and you built up and you're getting built up in the spirit. Nothing in this life can fuck with you. Nothing. Somebody threatening to kill you, oh well. Make it fast. Or you have to go through some torches. If you're waxing strong in the spirit, because you know what's waiting for you on the other side. All right?
And you know who's responsible for the situation that you placed in, and he's not going to give you nothing that you can't conquer, man.
Yeah. That's why you got to get this word in you. You got to digest it. You got to eat it. That's how your spirit gets built up. And live according to it. Don't just be a hearer of it and you're reading it and you're not applying it to your life. You know? When you roll into the spirit, man, shit gets easier with you in the society. You learn how to navigate. You know how to deal with controversy. You know how to deal with these devils. All right? You know how to deal with your finances. You know? Everything. But you got it, brother. That was it.
I got one more to take us out unless y'all want to.
That was it on there. You got it.
All right. We're going to take it out on Matthew 26 and 41. And this is still going into the spirit and the flesh, man. Okay? If Because, like I say, the spirit wants us out of here. The flesh wants to remain here because the flesh is getting fed here, it's getting watered here. Okay, the flesh has no place in our kingdom. That's another thing. The flesh knows that, man. Right?
This is Matthew chapter 26 and verse 41.
Not this flesh, anyway. Go ahead, brother.
Watch and pray.
Watch and what?
Watch and pray.
Watch and pray, man. Be on your watchtowers, man. Watch the news. Watch over the flock. Nurture the brothers. Minister unto the brothers. Pray. Fast. Read. Do your videos. Watch brothers' videos. Do whatever you have to do to benefit the body. Okay? Not your physical body. The spiritual body. Which is which is heaven, which is your oculum, which is the body, the great millstone who have the 144% truth, man. Okay, and there's people outside the great millstone that have the truth that was taught by them. Okay, it's not no gang thing, it's not no alphabet thing. It's about the truth. Okay.
And the reason says that he entered not into temptation,
because we live in a world full of temptations. We live in the so-called white man's world. We live in the devil's world. We live in a world where it's so easy to sin. We live in a world where sin will come to your front door, sin will meet you at your job, sin will meet you on your phone, on the internet, sin will meet you on a video game, sin will meet you wherever, man. And it's so easy to do because this world is anti-Hamashiach. Go ahead, bro.
And it says the spirit is indeed is willing.
All right. I got a scripture that says, and it's talking about Israelites. They have a zeal of the Lord, but not according to the truth. Yeah, the spirit is willing. The spirit knows what needs to be done. The spirit understands that it's a captive in the body. Okay? The spirit is willing. The only thing that's holding back the spirit is what? The flesh. Yeah, bro.
It says, but the flesh is weak.
The flesh is weak. The flesh wants to smoke cigarettes. It wants to smoke weed. It wants to shoot heroin. It wants to sniff heroin. It wants to
It wants fentanyl.
It wants to
the flesh want to kill itself. It want to commit suicide. Hey, bro, this is a bad time to be a fucking drug addict. Hey, bro,
be fleshy, period.
Hey, just to be a hey, bro, all that glorifying, getting high and shit. Hey, hey, we don't feel sorry for you. Okay. Hey, but fentanyl doing his thing in the kingdom of men. God damn.
And that's a small scourge, bro.
It's small. It's small.
But it's something that you can see happening before your eyes.
No, it get to the point, it get kind of funny. How the fuck you see everybody ODing off of it, and you're gonna keep rolling the dice to go purchase everything that comes with it?
Let me say this.
You got if I was still getting high as a carnal man, all right, and I knew they was putting the shit in everything, that would stop me once I see my homeboys dying. Like, how many homeboys we know to die? About 5 or 6? About pushing 10. Within what? The last, 3 years?
You give it, that's too many. Within the last 2 years.
Within the last 2 years, it got dudes we grew up with.
And was intimate with, man.
And we're not talking about high and by guys we knew personally, hung with, ran with.
Slept with. When I say slept, I mean hung with from sun up to sundown.
Yeah.
We know each other, mamas and daddies and children.
Yes. Out of here. And not from getting their noodles knocked out from gun violence. We're talking about OD. Fentanyl is doing its thing, man. Yeah. and that's a score sent by the Lord. And like you said, that's just a small one. The Lord about to open the floodgates, man.
Now the elder asked the question, and he said, "How can you knowing this shit is killing you, and you still go after it?" We're coming into a time where the men that serve in the spirit and that's after the spirit is going to watch brothers be persecuted. It's going to watch brothers lose everything. It's going to watch brothers lose their lives. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to keep on pushing. They're going to keep on serving. Because the same thing that's pushing you, carnal motherfuckers, to serve the flesh is going to teach, and it's going to be on these spiritual brothers to serve Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, which is spirit. Yahweh is a spirit. Okay? Yahweh Shai is a spirit. The Ruach HaKodesh is a spirit. Okay? We're going to serve the Lord through brothers getting persecuted.
Abarakazah,
we part of that number. Because, you can't say that. You have people falling out every day. Abarakazah, we part of that number. And it's very important to say, Lord willing, Abarakazah, Yahweh Barakazah. Okay? Because that takes away the pride from man, right? Aparak is out, man. But the same thing that's pushing them is gonna push us. Okay? They serve darkness. We serve light. They're gonna do what they do. We're gonna do what we do. They're gonna die in their sins. We're gonna die serving the Lord. Al-Barak is out. We part of that number, man.
Right.
All right. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Right. With that, we're gonna give all infinite honors, praises, and glory to who? Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well, and to the other Akim out here pushing the truth into the four winds. Keep pushing, Akim. We almost out of here, man. Shalom. Kwam Yashirala.
Kwam Yashirala.
A ball for ball.
Ball. Ball.
Until the next time. Shalom, Akim.
Shalom, you brothers on the camera board.
Shalom, Akim. Till next time, man.